Hello everyone and welcome to Placement Parsala. I hope you all are doing good. So in this video we are going to study about functions in Golang. So functions is very important in any of the programming language. So you must be knowing it very well because we will be using functions a lot in our projects or in our company code bases. So basically functions are reusable components. So when we want to reuse the same thing multiple times, then we will declare one function and then we'll be calling that function multiple times. So now let's look into the code and understand the concepts of functions in Golang. So first look at the syntax to define the function. That is, we will start with func keyword, func, and name of the function, let's say hello world, and open and close bracket, and then curly braces, and inside this we'll print the code which we want to execute. Let's say fmt dot println hello world. So this is our basic function declaration. So what we will do, we will use function keyword, then name of the function and bracket open and close, and these curly braces. Inside these curly braces we will print the statement or write the code what we want to perform inside this function. Now if we run this code and see the output, what is the output? You can see there is nothing printed. Why? Because we have declared the function but never called it. So we have to call the function in order to execute it. So first we have declared the function, now we will call it. So in order to call the function, just we have to call with the name of the function hello world. So we will call the function by the name. Here you can see, now if I run the code, you can see hello world got printed. So this is very important syntax, so you must be knowing it very well. So first we have to declare the function. That with function start with func keyword, name of the function, and inside that curly braces we have to execute the code whatever we want to perform inside the function, and then call the function. Function calling is very important, and you can write the function anywhere. So if you want, you can write below the main function as well. Here also if you write, there will be no difference, you will get the same output. So this is the basic implementation of function. Currently this function don't have any parameters or return type, so that is also important. So you must be knowing what is parameter and what is the return type in function. So parameter will be passed inside this bracket. Let's say change this function name to, we will change this name to say hello, and now inside this we'll pass the parameter, let's say string. We'll pass the parameter name and its data type string, and inside this we'll print hello and name of the person, and here we'll call the function with the function name say hello, and here we have to pass the parameter. So we have defined the parameter inside the function, and while calling the function we have to pass the parameter. So let's say I will pass Pankaj. Now what we have done, we have created function with the parameter, and here we have passed the parameter as name, and we are printing inside this function this name, and while calling the function we are passing this parameter. Now if you run the code and see the output, you can see hello Pankaj got printed. So this is function with parameter. Now we will see function with return type. We'll use func func keyword and name of the function, let's say sum, and we will have two variable x and y, both of type integer, and now we will have return type. So let's say integer is the return type here, and now we have to return the sum. So this is very important. So when you have the return type in the function definition, then you have to return, you can't print here. So earlier we used to print ln, we were not using return because we haven't defined any return type. Here we have defined the return type, so we'll be using return. Let's comment this out and call this function sum with two parameter, let's say 2, 3. Save this and run this code. Here you can see nothing got printed. Why there is no output here? So why there is no output here? Because we have called this function is returning sum, but here we are not printing anything. So we have to store it into some variable, let's say answer, and now we have to print it fmt dot println sum, and now if you run the code and see the output, you can see the sum 5 got printed. So what we are doing, we are calling this sum function with the two parameters x and y, both of type integer, and return type is also integer. So when we have return type integer, then we have to return the sum, and when we are returning again in the main function, we have to store it into some variable and then print the answer. So this is the way how we will be using function with the return type. So in this, so if both the parameters are of same data type, then we can use simply x and y and x comma y and int. So by default it will take x and y both of type integer. If you see here, x is of variable type integer and y is also of type integer. So this is the shortcut method. So if you run the code, you will get the same output, sum as 5. So this is the function with the parameter. So this is the example of function with single return type. So we can also have function with multiple return type. Let's say create another function, func, and name of the function is, let's say, calculate, and here we can pass, let's say, x comma y of type float, and we can have multiple return types. So when we have multiple return type, we have to include it in the bracket. We can have one integer and another float, and here you can return x plus y and y minus x, and here you can call calculate with the parameter, let's say 4 comma 6, and we'll store it into two variable, one for sum and another for subtraction. So here you can see this error, cannot use x plus y variable of type float 32 as int value in return state. So in the return we have put it as int, and here we are returning float. So x and y we have passed as a float, so we can't return it as a int. So either we have to typecast it, or simply here instead of int you can use float. So as x and y is float, so their sum will be also float. So we have to write the return type as float instead of int. Now if you run the code and see the output, you can see result 10 and 2. Sum is 4 plus 6, 10, and subtraction is 6 minus 4, that is 2. So this is the way to use function with multiple return types. So you can have 3, 4 or even 5 return types. So you can have as many return types as you want. So I have shown a simple example with two return type. So you can also have one return type of integer, another float, one string and another integer. So these things can be done. So here only in this, let's say hello, I have return type one integer and another string. Let's say we have integer and string return type, and here you can return, here we can have two parameters, name as string and age as integer, and let's change the order here. Here also let's take first parameter as string and second parameter as integer. So why we are doing this? Because to match the order. Here we have name as string, age as integer. So we'll be returning in the same order, name comma age. If you would have passed here integer and here string, then you have to change the order. So this order should match the order of the return type. So if you have suppose here integer and here string, then same order you have to use while returning the variable. So you have to return first age and next name. And now in this function we call this say hello with name and age, and here we can store it into some variable like details, let's say person, and here print this person details. See here you can see the error mismatch, one variable but say hello returns two variable. So this method say hello returns two variable. So we have to capture it into two variable. So one can be name and second can be age. So we have to use two variable. So first variable will be capturing the age and second will be return. So change the order, age and name. And now here you can return these two variables, age and name. So I hope you have understood this concept. So we have multiple return type. So name of type string and age is of type integer, and we have return type integer and string. So we will be returning age and then name, and here we will call the function with the parameters name Pankaj and age 26, and we have to store it into two variable because return type will give you two variables. So two different variables will have two different values, so you have to capture it into two different variables. So suppose if we here we have three return type, then we have to capture it into three different variable, and you can print it. Now let's run the code and see the output. Here you can see person detail, age and name got printed. So these are the various examples of functions. So functions with the parameters and return type. So here we have seen simple float, integer type parameters inside the function. Even we can pass arrays and maps in the function. Now let's see one example where we'll be passing arrays and map in the function, and then we will try to use it. So now let's comment this out, and now create an array of called numbers. So let's say its size is 4 and data type is integer type, and its values are 2, 3, 4, and let's say 8. So these are the 4 values inside this array. So we have created an array numbers, its size is 4, and we have assigned the values inside this array and passed inside this sum method. So here you can, so here in the method sum, we will change it to array nums of size 4, and data type will be integer, and return type is also integer, and here we can calculate the sum of these 4 elements. So let's declare one variable sum and initialize its value to 0. Next, what we will do, we will use for loop. So you have already studied, so I have already taught this in earlier videos, how to use range loop. So what we will do, we will use for, we will use underscore, that is for key and value. Let's say value is num, and then we will use range of this variable nums, and now we can sum the elements. Sum is equals to sum plus num. So this sum initially it's initialized to 0. Now in the loop we have num, this stores the value inside the, so num stores the values from the array. So in each iteration it will be adding the elements of the array into the variable sum. So finally we can return sum, and here you can print, let's say store this into a variable, let's say result. So inside this result variable we can store the sum and then print fmt.println result. So what we have done, we have created an array of size 4, pass this array inside this function sum, and here in the sum we are calculating the sum of these 4 elements and then printing the result. Run. So now let's run the code and see the output. Here you can see 17, sum of these 4 elements, 8 plus 4 12, 12 plus 3 15, 15 plus 2 17. You can see this 17 got print. So this is the way how we can pass the array in the methods. Similar to array, we can also pass the maps. So what we can do, we can create one map. So we will create a map which will be storing the grades. So it will be of type string, key will be of type string, and value will be of type integer. And here we can have, let's say subject math, and its value is 85, math 85, and let's say English 90 marks and Hindi 95. So this is our map of type string and integer. So key is of type string, subject name, and marks is of type integer. So we have created this map. Now we can pass this map inside this function calculate. Now let's say we call this method calculate and pass the map grades, and inside this here we can create one, here we can create map of the name grades, map of type string, and its value will be of type integer, and let's say there is no return type. So we can have return type of, let's say string and integer. So what we will do in this method calculate, we will be printing the subject and its grade. So let's say, so we will first loop using for key, let's say key is subject, and marks, let's say score, subject and score, and range keyword, and then name of the variable, that is name of the map grades. Now we will have key and value. So what we can do, we can return subject and score. So in each iteration it will return subject and score. Now let's create one variable answer and print fmt.println the answer. So here we need to have key and value because we are returning 2 values, so we can have one key and value, and here we can print key comma value. Comment this out, comment this array, so it's not required now, and in the end we will return. So this is the implementation. We have created a map of type grades where we have key as a subject name and score as a integer. So we will have subject and its marks. So now we will pass this grades map to the calculate method, and here we are iterating over this entire grades and printing the subject and its score. Now let's run the code and see the output. You can see maths 85. Only first element got printed because here we are only printing once, we are not looping. So this was it for this video. I hope you have got the basic understanding of function, how to declare the function, how to call the function, and how to have function with parameters and multiple return types. So I hope this video was helpful for you. So please make sure you like to this video and subscribe to this channel for more videos. So in the later videos I will be covering pointers and how we can use pointers in the functions, structs and interfaces.